Hello, you okay guys? Shadow Boy here. So today I'm going to be doing a book review. I have actually also got another book review to do, and I am nearly finished on that one. But I want to finish the whole book before I give a book review, and that book is for the book. The that book review is for the book Familiar Spirits by Nicole Canfield. She's also Kissy the Dreamer on YouTube, so check her out. Her channel is awesome. She's lovely. She's absolutely lovely. If you're watching this, mwah, so far loving the book. Literally engulfed into it. And I don't want to just put it on this book review as well because I feel like it deserves a separate review because it is a very, very cool book in terms of fiction. Very cool. So anywho, today I wanted to do a book review for this book. Rachel Patterson, Pagan Portals, the Cailleach. And for any of you that don't know, Cailleach is a hag goddess of winter. She, in terms of different stories, comes in many different guises. However, typically she's a blue-faced hag with white hair, and she has one eye, and she's a giantess. Her teeth are like red iron, and she is as old as time itself. She is ancient, and yeah, very cool. These that's just in, you know, some stories. In different stories she'll come across in different ways, but that's one of the sort of most referenced appearances of her. So the author's daughter has drawn this, which I think is pretty awesome. She has drawn this picture, which is pretty amazing. In this book is folklore. This book is actually quite bursting with folklore. For a book with 87 pages, it's pretty, you know, it's quite packed with the amount of folklore, and I think it's nice because the author's quite, the author's got character, the author's got wit and humour about them, and I love that. It keeps it engaging. Not that it's not engaging enough for me, but it's a nice extra thing along my read, to know that, you know, someone's quite witty and humorous, and I like that. In a respectful way, of course. So the book is broken up in various different parts. You have Birth of the Cailleach, Cailleach in Scotland, Cailleach in Ireland, Cailleach in Isle of Man, Cailleach in Bridget, or Breed, Cailleach in the Isle of Man, Cailleach in England, which I was really impressed with, Lady of the Beast, Globetrotting Cailleach, Cailleach by any other name, and then there's other things here, and at the back there's also rituals. So I was really impressed with the folk stories from Scotland and Ireland, and I think the folk stories from Ireland were my favourite. I loved them. It was also interesting how the effect that Cailleach has on the landscape around her. The way that she has an apron of boulders and shakes her apron, which forms the local landscape around, so she can form mountains and form streams or rivers, or, you know, it's very, very interesting. Most of the stories always involve the landscape changing in some format or the other. The author does put in other stories that are very, very similar and very linked. For instance, Cailleach in England, which I was quite impressed by because you don't really hear much of Cailleach in England. It's mainly Scotland and Ireland, so it was quite nice to actually read something about her in England. However, the stories weren't directly her, which the author says. They are extremely, extremely similar, though extremely similar. So yeah, really, really interesting book. I loved the use of the landscape changing, and it's something I actually found quite interesting in regards to the Cailleach and also regards to the devil. There are a couple of stories that involve the devil in here, the folkloric devil, and she mentions how she possibly thinks it could be the church using the devil instead of Cailleach or instead of other gods as a way to Christianise pagan beliefs. It's interesting, however, my personal opinion isn't that. Is sort of that, but is not. You know, you guys know my belief about the folkloric devil. If you don't, have a look at a video I've done. But Better the Devil, you know, I think I called it. And what I find interesting is how with him in folklore, there's always stories to him changing the landscape most of the time. It could either be a dent in the boulder where he kicked a boulder because he was trying to move it from a hill to a church, or it could be you know, it could be sounds of bells being heard in rivers where the devil kicked a bell and you can still hear the bell going on a windy day. And it's very interesting for me how it ties in to the living landscape, and I love that because I feel that it echoes from the past old religions of how prominent their gods were, how prominent their deities were around them, and just how much power they had of affecting the landscape, and how the landscape and the gods were one almost because of the folklore and the mythology and the stories. And I find it beautiful, I find it gorgeous. The only thing I did not like about this book, and it's nothing personal, it's just my own personal practice, is I would not do the ritual part in the back. There's a spell for forgiveness. You know, working with Cailleach to aid you in forgiveness. That's not really my bag of tricks. In terms of working spells to change my internal feelings, I'd rather just deal with it without magic. I'd rather deal with things on my own. If the gods or the spirits throw a hand, that's awesome. But for me, magic is about changing the external world around me. It's about using my internal map to change the external world around me, not trying to constantly change myself from the inside. That's not my bag of tricks. It's fine, you know, I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's just not my thing, and that's absolutely fine. However, the meditation to meet the old hag, or to meet the old woman, yeah, meditation to meet the Cailleach, I quite like, so I might actually utilise that. But just the time of year, Samhain, you know, the dark is coming in now, the cold, the winter, and it's fucking getting cold. Yay, Britain, cold. But yeah, it just felt right to read this time of year, as I'll always pour a glass of whiskey. And I work with Nick and Evan as well, which ties in with her very much. But yes, very, very interesting book. And yeah, that's it. So peace out, over and out, and speak to you guys soon.